This video is going to cover problem number 4 on Greg Mankiw's Principles of Microeconomics. The chapter is about the markets for the factors of production, and this one gives us a pretty standard number of capital and then total output. A good one to practice on. So this one says a smiling cow dairy can sell all of the milk it wants for $4 a gallon, and it can rent all the robots it wants to milk the cows at a capital rental price of $100 a day. So two key pieces of information there would be the $4 it can sell and it can rent at $100 a day. It faces the following production schedule. So looking at this one, what you're going to get here is number of robots, which would be similar to something like a quantity of labor. And then in the other column, you get total output or total product. So pretty simple setup, something that would have analyzed many times before. So this one, the questions say what kind of market are they selling its output, what kind of market are they renting robots, and then you have to do this, calculate the marginal product and the value of the marginal product for each additional robot, and then how many robots ultimately should the firm rent. And so D is the one that we're really looking to try and calculate a couple of different things and then figure out, well, what's the most value for them to hire 0 or to hire 6 or somewhere in between there. So the first two are just kind of a description of the market that this firm operates in. So as a quick review, remember that there are these two markets that exist. One is the product market, and one is the factor market. And so if you are a firm selling with individuals, or you, I should say individuals here, this firm engages in both of these different markets. In one market, it's selling things to people. It's selling goods and services. And people, in return, are paying them money for those things. That's the product market. It's the selling. Firms are selling in that context. In the factor market, what individuals are doing is they are giving their labor to firms. We can say land, we could say labor, or we could say capital. From this example, we're talking about capital. And firms in return are paying for those, sometimes in the form of wages, sometimes in the form of rent. In this example, we're talking about rent. So in the factor market, firms are buying. It says, in what kind of market structure does the firm sell its output? And so how do we know this? Well, in the selling of goods, in the example above, it said it can sell all the milk it wants for $4 a gallon. So the demand for milk looks like this, $4, and it can sell as much as it wants at $4 a gallon. So you have this demand curve that looks like that. This perfectly elastic demand curve. And that tells us that this is in perfect competition. That it can sell all of the milk that it wants to at the going price, the price that's set by the market. And we usually call that their price takers. Because they can sell as much as they want, we know it's perfectly competitive. B is talking about the factor market, the buying, the renting of robots. And how do we know what kind of market structure they are in when it comes to buying? So in the selling realm, they're selling in perfect competition. All the goods are exactly the same. They can sell as much as they want at the going market price. In the buying, they're also in perfect competition. How do we know that? Well, we know that because they can rent all of the robots they need or want at $100 each. They don't have to raise the wage or lower the wage to hire an additional one. They can hire as many as they want to at the going wage, the wage that's set by the market. So they're selling in perfect competition, but they're also buying they're also buying labor or robots in perfect competition. Okay, so those are just kind of descriptor ones. The main reason why we know that is because these two details up here, $4 and $100. Same for all of them that they sell, same for all of them that they buy. The next one asks us to calculate the marginal product and then the value of the marginal product for each additional robot. So for this one, we want to calculate a few things. And so we're going to add more columns to our chart that we have to be able to fully calculate what we're doing. So the first column that we want is the marginal product of labor. And the next one, in this context, they call it the value of the marginal product. And we've typically referred to it as the MRP, the marginal revenue product, or the value of the marginal product. Okay. These are the same thing. All right, so let's calculate these things for each one of our robots that we could potentially hire. So this first one, the marginal product, is just simply asking you by how much does your output change when you hire one more. So the marginal term is how much does the last one change my output or my product. And so if I hire 0, I get 0. But if I hire the first one, the question is how much does that first one change my output? Well, from 0 to 50 is 50. How much does the second one change my output? Well, from 50 to 85 is 35. Next one would be 30. Next one would be 25. Next one would be 10. And the last one would be 5. So we're looking at how much do each one of these change by when we hire one more robot. So a simple question like, what's the marginal product of the fifth one? Well, the fifth one adds an additional 5, because I went from 140 to 150. The next one, I want to know what's the value of each one of those. So what I need to know is, okay, the first robot helps generate an additional 50 gallons of milk, but how much can I sell each one of those gallons for? And so if we scroll back up to that, it says I can sell each one of those gallons for $4. And so what I'm going to do to figure out the value or the marginal revenue of that product, I calculate each one of these and I take it times the $4 I can sell each one of those at. And so 50 times 4 would be 200. And I do that for each one of those. We'd have 140, 120, 100, we'd have 40, and 20. And this column is a very important column for us because it tells us basically the extra benefit that we get from each one, the marginal benefit. What this tells me, the $100 tells me, is the additional cost, or we'll call marginal cost. All right? What in our terms, since we're talking about a factor of production, we call it the marginal factor cost. So what I have now is a marginal cost and a marginal benefit, or a marginal cost and a marginal revenue. And as long as I have marginal cost and marginal revenue, I can tell you when should I stop. When should I stop hiring? When should I stop renting robots for my business? Should I have 6? Should I have 7? Should I have 1? Should I not have any? Well, I need to know what's the marginal benefit and what's the marginal cost. So a quick analysis, well, actually, let's add another column here. I'm going to erase this one. And we're going to call this column marginal factor cost, just so we can see it right next to each other. And we know, since we're in perfect competition in the factor market, that each one of these is the same. It's $100. It said at the beginning I can rent as many as I want to at $100 a piece. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and check off each one of these to state whether it's worth it or not. So this first one, it cost me $100 to rent it, and I get $200 from that one, so that one is worth it. It cost me $100 to rent it. I get $140 for that one. It's worth it. It's worth it, still worth it, and we know that the next one obviously is not worth it. So the next one we're going to say no, and the last one no, because this one only generates 40, but it cost me $100 to get it, and obviously this one only generates 20, and it cost me $100 to get it. So not worth it and not worth it. The other ones are going to be worth it to hire, and so I hire 4. So if we scroll back down, it says how many robots should the firm rent? Well, we calculated these two, those are the columns. We should rent 4 because our reasoning is because 4 is where the MFC equals the MRP. In other words, the cost is not greater than the extra benefit.